This is Served with me, Andy Roddick. Please hit subscribe. We drop new episodes every week. But let's start with Vondrousova. Can you give us the balls and strikes of this situation as you know it?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of this off of her Instagram post, which is very strange. I mean, usually there's a press release, the ITIA sort of issues a finding. This was the opposite, where the player preemptively sent out. Does anyone, you guys have it here? It's tough for me to talk about this, but I want to be transparent with you about my mental health. The recent doping control incident happened because I reached a breaking point after months of physical and mental stress. You could read the whole thing. I mean, basically, it sounds like, I don't want to diagnose this inappropriate, but it sounds like basically someone knocked on her door. She had a panic attack. She didn't realize that it was an anti-doping official. She missed the test. The ITIA essentially confirmed in broad strokes what had happened. Now we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot we don't know. There's a lot, again, it sort of boils down to this question of, do we or do we not want a clean sport and rigorous testing? And no one ever says, you got me, I'm busted. There's always, it's a transfusion in Bali, it's grandma's pasta, it's a minuscule threshold. I mean, there's always a complication. She's facing potentially a 4-year ban, which is a lot for a missed test.
That's as much as that's as much as a positive test for like the worst of it, isn't it?
I was going to say, I mean, it would be pretty ironic if she served a longer suspension than players who affirmatively tested positive. I sympathize with players. She referenced Petra Kvitova and the knock on the door in the same country. We've talked before about threats from gamblers. I mean, it's very understandable to see why a player would be rattled by a knock on the door. That said, you did give a time when you had to make yourself available.
I was going to ask.
It seems to me it's a huge loophole. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, just the story you're talking about was 2016 when
can I level set for a second
real quick, here? She was attacked by a burglar, right? And it was late at night. Kvitova was.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that is in players' minds, right? Even 10 years later.
She referenced it in her statement. Just to be clear,
statement.
She referenced it.
Here's where it is, and I don't know. I mean, Mike, I texted you this, and you seem to think it was outside of the bounds. To me, this is very straightforward. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm stressed. I'm at a breaking point. I'm all of these things. Yes, understood. The way that it works when you're a player is that you have to provide an hour to be tested, and you don't know when that test is coming. Mm-hmm. You don't know if you're going to get tested back-to-back days. You don't know if it's going to be 6 months in between at-home tests. All right? So during my career, it was 5 to 6 a.m.
That was what you gave for every day period.
That's what I gave, because that's when I knew that I would be home for sure, right? And if I went to stay at a hotel overnight with Brooke on like a trip with the two of us, I would have to send the address and the room number into protocols, right? But it was 5 to 6. So if someone would have showed up at my house and my hour is 5 to 6 and they say, oh, you know what? Fuck you, Magoo. I'm going to show up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I would say, get lost. Mm-hmm. Or I would call someone to say, hey, listen, I just want this on record. This is not the time. This is not the time. So what I want to know, and I know it, I think she said it wasn't during the time allotted. Mm-hmm. Okay. If it's not during the time that she had given or the hour that she had given, then they're wrong. Okay? If it's not during that 8 to 9 a.m. or whatever hour she gives, and I want this, all of this opinion needs to be based on the confirmation that it's not during this hour. Mm-hmm. Vondrousova has said it. At this point, we have no reason not to believe what she's saying. Mm-hmm. Okay? If they go outside of that, and let's say her hour, and this is purely, again, this is me just laying out the maybes. If her hour is 7 to 8 a.m. and someone knocks on her door at 8:30 at night, story is totally plausible. 100% everything she says is relatable. It makes sense. If she's there alone, absolutely. My opinion changes if it's during the hour that she's given. Mm-hmm. It's that simple to me.
it also, there also would seem, I mean, again, I don't want to go too far speculative, but there are some steps you can take too, right? You call your agent, and the ITIA is actually quite good on their website. There's a number you can call for, I need some clarity about this situation. It's tough. I mean, we sympathize with these players. We sympathize with mental health. The loophole that would be created if you could say, I didn't want to answer the door then. No, no penalty.
I'm just telling.
A terrible precedent.
I'm just telling you. I understand all of those things. I promise you. The stresses. I get that. Because I'm super stressed, doesn't mean that I get to make my own rules. Okay. If it's outside, but conversely, if you're the ITIA and you have this the time of day that you're supposed to test this player, you also don't get to make your own rules.
Yeah, exactly. It goes both ways.
So all of these things with the breaking point, I give them credit as like a human who is like generally empathetic, but those are not excuses to skip a test inside the allotted time. If it's outside of the allotted time, anything goes, and I'm open to every conversation.
I mean, beyond the absurdity of the needing to tell somebody an hour every single day for your entire existence.
But it goes to you. It's like, to me, it's like,
beyond that absurdity.
What's the alternative?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think it's absurd because, like, I actually felt good. Listen, are we imperfect? Yep. Are there mistakes to be made? Yep. Are there going to be people that are ahead of the testing? Yep. Are we the most responsible sport where you're least likely to go away with something? Yep.
Yes.
And to be able to say that, sure, have 5 to 6 a.m.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I did some digging into it. And it's probably a bigger look, right? But ultimately, tennis players are these independent contractors. No other independent contractors in sport are asked to give their whereabouts, 365 days a year for an hour each day. I mean, cyclists have to do it, but they get paid salaries. You have other groups that are only doing it when they're in Olympic mode or Olympic preparedness. I mean, the PGA is probably the closest thing in terms of having the number of events where all the players are going to show.
Tough walk.
I'm just saying, and they have their own doping protocol, like on site. You get tested, but then for the 5 or 6 months that they have off, there's no protocol. Nothing. And then the only time it is and they adhere to all the WADA lists and rules and regulations. They just don't do it with WADA. And then once it's inside the Olympic competition window, then those players that are eligible for the Olympics then enter this same protocol.
So let me ask you this. I mean, first of all, let's also make clear that tennis players do not have a say in this. I mean, in most other leagues, these are collectively bargained. So let me thought exercise here, right? I mean, this comes up every few months, and we have Iga and melatonin, and we have Sinner and Simona Halep. I mean, it's a long list. The players are no one ever says you got me. There's always an extenuating circumstance. Something was unfair. I'm suing. This is a mafia. I mean, this is basically existing morally for clean competition, but also as one of the prerequisites for Olympic eligibility. Do you think tennis, on the whole, would ever consider saying, you know what? These standards are not tenable. They're destroying careers. You have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight it. To get into the Olympics, it's not worth it. We need a different dope.
Golfers still get into the Olympics.
Anything goes. But do you think tennis would ever say, you know what, it's just not worth having these strict WADA standards? Or do you think this is just a necessary offshoot of having credible, rigorous?
The problem with any of these conversations is that they are entirely nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on record, the people who looked at Sinner's case were like, it was a speck of sand in a swimming pool. Do I think we should be testing a speck of sand in a swimming pool? No, that brings in every contamination, fake excuse and real excuse that will ever exist. Right? Do I, the melatonin thing and like the
contaminated meats. Like, are we not testing the food that the tournaments are providing?
No, you're not, because you can't. I'm sorry, you're playing 27 events every week across the globe. No, that would be like, you can't afford to do that. It's impossible, right? Is it something that needs to exist at the lower levels when you're 400 in the world? I don't know. Is it like what you're testing for? Like the levels you're testing for, I think are borderline insane. Right. But I like that you constantly have the threat of showing up the next day. That made me feel good about the rest of Earth and what they were having to do.
That's interesting.
I liked it. It's the worst.
You liked it because you're like, I know I'm good.
Yes.
Now the challenge is, can you be good?
I know that that's happening to all of the players above me and behind me. And I liked going to practice knowing that that was happening. If it was happening to me, it was happening to everyone. Like, I like it. Now, is there a nuanced conversation about what, why, how much? Always. Always. Right? But the Vondrousova case, to me, I don't want to say it's as clear cut because I wouldn't even pretend to view this with we know everything at this point. I want to know about the window. And I know what she said, I want to know the window. If you cannot, as a testing agency, and that's why I want to know if it was from the Olympics, I want to know who was the tester, I want to know all of these things, right? If it's outside of agreed upon protocol, they got nothing. If it's inside of agreed upon protocol, she's got nothing. I think it's that simple as far as what we know right now.